My 35 male, sister Daniela, 33 female, has serious disabilities and will never be able to live independently. Growing up, my parents forced my older brother, Henry, 42, to be a third parent and caretaker for Daniela, essentially. Then they expected that of me after Henry moved out when I was 10. I was forced to quit all my extracurriculars. I was never allowed to go anywhere or do anything outside of school hours because they'd need someone to complete chores while at the hospital with Daniela or look after Daniela while they went out to have fun. It was very common for them to say things like, "You get to see your friends every day at school. We only get to see ours 2 nights a week." They would be out until midnight most times, and I'd be taking care of Daniela on my own. I moved out the day I graduated high school. I only talk to my parents for family emergencies because any other conversation becomes me again, becoming a full-time, unpaid caregiver for Daniela. Recently, my father experienced a health scare. He's fine, but it made my parents realize that they're getting older and will not be able to take care of Daniela someday. They finally got Daniela on a waiting list for a care home, but it's obviously a very long wait, and likely my parents will either pass away or become unable to care for Daniela before it's her turn to enter the care home. My parents explained this to me and said that since I can work from home with my job, I can start taking over certain days with Daniela's care to get back into the hang of it and be ready in case I need to become her full-time caregiver. I explained that I would not work from home because it makes less money, and I want to focus on advancing my career. I also wanted free time for my hobbies and outside social life. My parents called me selfish and said that I needed to realize caring for Daniela will not leave enough time for those other things. So I told my parents I would not be caring for Daniela. I've spent my entire childhood taking care of her, and I'm done. Now other family members and acquaintances are telling me what a horrible person I am because I prioritize career advancements and hobbies over my sister. Some call me an ableist because Daniela's disability isn't fair to her or my parents. I'm essentially saying disabled people shouldn't be accommodated by refusing to help care for Daniela. I believe that disabled people all deserve to have their needs met, but at the same time, I'm not obligated to keep putting my life on hold for Daniela and my parents. I know on the outside it sounds horrible to prioritize my career and hobbies over my disabled sister. Still, I won't return to revolving my life around caring for Daniela because it'll never stop if I do. Am I the idiot? Holy crap, you're not the idiot. You gave up your childhood for your sister. You aren't giving up your adult life. Even if you provided zero care for her when you were a child, which is a crazy expectation to have of a 10-year-old to begin with, you don't have to cancel your life to take care of her. Oh, for goodness sake, you're ableist because your parents are trying to force you to care for your disabled sister and you don't want to? They've parentified you and stolen your childhood. Now they want to steal the rest of your life. Seriously, it took a health scare for them to make a plan? They're at least 60, and Daniela is 33. They've had 33 years to plan for if something happened. Exactly. His parents stole his childhood so they could grab drinks with friends. Repeat to anyone who asks, I wish I could help my sister, but my parents make that impossible due to their inability to respect my boundaries. You're welcome to volunteer to take over her care, though. It's brilliant that she has so many extended family members that feel so strongly about it because they can take over her care since they feel so passionate about it. Your parents said, you need to realize caring for Daniela will not leave enough time for those other things. Why didn't your parents follow their own advice back when they had you and your brother taking care of her when you were children? Nope, you and your brother have done more than enough. So do not let them guilt you into it. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I, 32 female, am a mother of 2 kids, a female kindergartner and a male toddler. Unfortunately, I do not get along with my family. Actually, I've been in no contact with my parents for more than 10 years. My husband, 35, grew up in the system his whole life, So when we got serious, we dreamed of having the picture-perfect family that we didn't have while growing up. I've been doing everything I can to make Christmas magical for my small family. Every room is decorated, including bathrooms, with elaborate lights and decorations on the outside. I stuff advent calendars, make cookies almost every day, and match pajamas and postcards for our friends, etc. Also, we go all out on gifts for our kids. I reconnected with my sister last year. We talked online and had a face-to-face meeting. She visited my city. She's also married with 3 kids, all under 12. Her husband is unemployed. She works retail, and they have a ton of medical debt. I guess she's been going through my social media lately, and she's seen how we celebrate Christmas in our house. Then she contacted me, and after a couple of minutes, she said that they were planning to spend Christmas with us as a gift. I said that I appreciated her gesture, but that Christmas for us is just for our small family. We don't like to include the extended family. She kept insisting that it would be fun and that my kids would absolutely love to celebrate with their cousins. My kids have never even met their cousins. I kept insisting that it would not be possible for us. Then she switched tones and started telling me that they couldn't afford Christmas for their kids and wanted the kids to have a fun holiday for once. I sympathized with her, but told her again that they wouldn't be able to spend Christmas with us. Then she asked me for some money to help with Christmas expenses, and I told her that we didn't have any extra funds this month, but that I had $100 budgeted for gifts for our family that I could send her. She asked me for more, but I turned her down. That was when she got angry with me. She said that I was a selfish witch, and that it wasn't fair that her kids wouldn't get to celebrate Christmas while I was throwing money out the window on my vanity project of a house. I hung up on her, then sent her a text. This is the exact text. I'm sorry that you and your family are struggling, but I will not be sacrificing our family traditions for your ease. I'll be sending you $100 as a gift for the kids, but neither you nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas. I will expect an apology when you cool down. Otherwise, don't bother contacting me again. I stand behind my decision not to have them celebrate with us, but still I'm feeling guilty for how I worded it. So am I the idiot for using the phrase, you nor your family are welcome to our family Christmas? Not the idiot. Not only is it rude to invite yourself and your family over, but it's also worse to insist on it after being refused. No is no. That's how you get no contact, like you just did. And the $100 is very generous. However, I wonder why her husband is unemployed. That's likely part of why they're not having a good Christmas. And many of your vanity projects for Christmas can be done fairly inexpensively, yet look pricey, especially if you do it yourself and get goods at sales and thrift stores. She doesn't know how much you spent, etc. I hope she doesn't know where you live. However, they may show up as a surprise Christmas gift. Be ready if so. She was clearly just contacting you to get a free Christmas experience for her kids. Don't get into the crab bucket. She will try to drag you down, all in the guise of her and her family's company being a gift to you. Her husband can get a job. She can have a scaled-down Christmas. This is your dream, and you and your husband deserve to make this holiday one for the 4 of you to cherish. You do not owe her your hard work. I feel like I could be in the wrong here, even if I don't understand why. To be honest, there have been incidents in the past where I've unwittingly been rude without intending to, and some social norms escape my understanding. So one of my colleagues, Harry, technically I'm his boss, not sure if that matters, came into my office today. I have an open door policy to encourage team members to come forward and share their ideas, so this wasn't that unusual. Harry came into my office and said, "I'm gay." I thought he had more to say, so I waited for him to continue. After a moment, I made a sound of consent to make it clear I heard him, but he still didn't say anything. Since he was staring at me, I assumed he was trying to convey something I didn't understand. Here's where I might have messed up. The first thing I said, my friend specifically scolded me because this was the first thing I said, was to ask if he had any insights to marketing to that demographic. We work in a marketing firm. Harry said he hadn't. I asked him if he was getting married and needed time off. This, too, I've been informed, was a stupid response. Harry said he wasn't married. I finally said that if Harry had nothing else he wanted to discuss, he should leave, as I had a meeting starting in a few minutes and needed the office. He left. Shortly afterward, a mutual friend scolded me and said I was a right idiot for the way I responded to Harry. Am I the idiot for how I responded? How can I fix this? Not the idiot. Isn't this the sort of long-term goal for someone when they come out? For it not to be a thing and just business as usual? How does this orientation add or detract any value to the workplace? Unless he was reaching out, but still, nobody cares. LMAO, like, why did he need to announce this? So random and odd. Like, did he need support? If so, then say it. LOL, no, you're fine. In the future, you can always go with something along the lines of, I appreciate you feeling comfortable enough to share that with me. Can I ask, was there any specific reason you brought it up today? Has someone made you feel uncomfortable due to this? Anything I can help you with? Have I made you feel uncomfortable in any way? No idiots here. I'm bi, and honestly, this made me laugh, as it reminds me of me coming out to my autistic friend, who thought it was obvious and wondered why I was bringing it up. Honestly, poor guy. Since coming out can be stressful, he probably didn't expect this kind of outcome. But not like you said anything unkind in any way. You were clearly caught off guard and just responded as a boss. I, 45 male, have a cousin, 32 female, who I'm not close to. In fact, in the past 5 years, we texted each other once. We also come from a very small family. She and I are the last kids. Besides us, there are only 4 other people left. I'm not close to our grandfather either. I moved away when I was 20, and I've seen him twice in that time, and haven't seen him at all since our grandmother passed. Several years ago, my cousin married someone of a different race and had kids. I don't have a problem with any of this, and to be honest, I don't even think about her or her family, so you can say I'm indifferent to the entire thing. However, our grandfather is an idiot. He thinks it's an abomination, so he completely cut her and her family out of his will. He even cut out her mother, his daughter, because she supported the marriage. He told them what he was doing and several other things I can't put here. They haven't spoken to each other since that day. Recently, he had a health scare and had to stay in the hospital for a few weeks. My mom, his other daughter, took care of him and is working with his attorney to put things in order because of his advanced age. That was when the inheritance issue resurfaced, because he did disinherit my aunt, cousin, and that entire family. This means the only people left in his will are me, my mom, and 2 others. My cousin, aunt, and their family have been trying to rally us to stand against our grandfather, to either change his will or for us to denounce his inheritance because it's the right thing to do. The thing is, I don't want to because I need the money. I don't have to agree with his worldviews, but I have bills to pay. And with the predicted economic downturn, his money will be a safety net if I lose my job. I told my cousin all of this, and she thinks I'm an idiot. I tried telling her I was not and just cared about the money. She said if that's the case, I should stand with her to force him to change his will. I don't think it'll work out like she has it in her head. By the way, we're not talking about millions, and I will not be able to play tennis with Elon Musk at the country club. It'll be a nice safety net for several years if I lose my job and can't find a new one. Am I the idiot for choosing my inheritance? Not the idiot. Altruism here will likely get the money donated to a local Republican PAC. He may be an idiot, but getting yourself written out won't change him or help anything. Either you get the money or someone else does. I agree with this, but OP, you should split that inheritance with them after the fact. The only reason they were written out is that your grandpa was being racist, and you would be following in that lead if you continue to cut them out after you receive the inheritance. Everyone is struggling right now in this economic climate. I'm sure they need it as much as you. Legally, you're in the clear if you keep your whole share, but morally, you would be an idiot just like your grandfather is. LOL, you all are too much. People miss the important parts of this post because emotions blind them. Please allow me to bring you up to speed. The OP wrote he moved away at 20 and he's now 45. Within those 25 years, he saw his grandfather twice. Seeing someone twice in a 25-year span does not make him an enabler. Heck, I've seen my barista every morning 3 days a week for almost 3 years now, and I have zero influence over her life. How much influence do you think OP has over his grandfather? These are uncertain economic times. Nothing wrong with looking out for yourself. Also, don't split your inheritance with the disowned relatives either. I'm always amazed at people's entitlement to others' money. Grandpa can do what he wants with his money. Grab the cash. Principals don't pay bills. You don't need to agree with him just by getting the money. When he's gone, he's gone. Trying to force Grandpa to change his will ain't gonna work. My mother-in-law has never liked me, and we have real clashing personalities. My husband does have a spine and he does stand up for me, but we've come to realize that he does need her in his life. So all three of us have come up with some compromises and boundaries. Mother-in-law has PTSD, and for most of the time I knew her, she repressed it. But she recently had another traumatic event and is now struggling. She's very codependent and has a hard time being around us without her husband. So I made a rule that she can bring one of her comfort animals. Honestly, I'm a neat freak and not a huge animal person, but mother-in-law can emotionally regulate better and resist the urge to bully me if she has a pet. Well, mother-in-law came over the other day and brought a goat. I didn't open the door for her or I would have stopped her, but she let this goat through my house. She smirked in triumph, but I immediately told her to get that goat out. Mother-in-law said, "But it's her comfort goat." I snapped at her that her jokes aren't funny and asked if she enjoys being a burden to her son. She clapped back that she would leave with her goat if she was a burden. I told her to go, but my dad wanted to pet the goat, so mother-in-law ignored me and brought it over. I began shrieking at her and telling her to get out. I feel a little bad because I think I scared the goat. I ran to the door as she was leaving and told her never to come back. My husband texted her to rip her a new one, and mother-in-law said that I said comfort animal and never specified. Then her husband posted a passive-aggressive social media post with the goat and said, "Who wouldn't love this face?" Well, actually someone today. Ignore the witches, Owen, the goat's name. My parents thought I overreacted, but she has a long history of pushing my buttons for her entertainment. Am I the idiot? I never imagined I would get to weigh in on the validity of an emotional support goat. I imagined mother-in-law with an evil cackle as she decides to load a goat into her car. Did she put down blankets? Did it try to eat the upholstery? Anyone who's been around a goat knows Owen didn't just sit there sweetly and enjoy the ride. I bet she cackled the whole freaking ride to your house as Owen absolutely wrecked her vehicle, all in an effort to make her daughter-in-law angry. Holy crap, that is some crazy, methodical, evil genius stuff right there. OP, you are absolutely not the idiot here. You will laugh about this one day. Cut that crazy woman out of your life. Emotional support goat is an absolutely surreal sentence to read. Reading that your dad wanted to pet it sent me into oblivion. She seems like the type of person who creates drama and trauma everywhere she goes, then claims PTSD because she's always in dramatic/traumatic situations. Really, I'd suspect she's more likely a wounded narcissist, meaning she lacks any empathy, but expects endless amounts from others, as she's the most victimized victim in history. OP, she did it on purpose to make you off angry, while also making a mockery of support animals. You are not the idiot, but you also need some strategies beyond completely losing your crap. That rage just feeds her egocentric drive to disrupt. Like with the coldest smile say, "Obviously your goat is welcome. I'll put a chair outside so you can stay with him. Ring the doorbell if you need the bathroom or whatever." I, female, turned 22 last month. I had plans for my birthday. My fiance and I planned to go to an art museum in the neighboring city, and afterward to go to a buffet restaurant along with some friends. We organized this a couple of months in advance. My sister, Lola, 31, is pregnant with her fourth child, and for some reason, she decided to host the baby shower on my birthday. I didn't know until she sent out the evites around 3 weeks before the day. I messaged Lola and told her that I was sorry, but the shower was on my birthday, and I had already made plans to celebrate my birthday. I don't know if Lola just forgot when my birthday was, which I doubt because our birthdays are 10 days apart, but she got really defensive and passively aggressively said that it's fine, that I don't prioritize family. She told me that I was being selfish. Lola told our parents about it, and they got mad at me and demanded that I cancel my plans to go to the baby shower, and implied that my unborn nibbling would hate me if I didn't. I ended up not going to the shower, and now everyone is royally angry at me. Lola has blocked me on everything, and my parents are demanding that I apologize to her. Maybe I could have canceled my plans and gone to her baby shower instead. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister had 22 years notice not to book that date, but I guess she doesn't prioritize family. You cancel plans for the first baby, but I'm surprised the fourth child even gets a baby shower. She should have plenty of baby supplies from the first 3. So this sounds like canvassing for free diapers. LOL. Shower for a fourth baby? Check. Self-hosted shower? Check. Temper tantrums when RSVP is negative? Check. Yep. Meets all points for a tacky gift grab. Right? You get a shower with your first baby because you don't have anything. By baby number 4, you should be pretty well set up. For my BFF, her mom and sister threw her a sprinkle for her second baby just for clothes because it was a different gender, but it was literally 5 guests, and we took her to brunch. I don't prioritize family. Well, she's the one who's doing a baby shower on your birthday. Talk about priorities here. She knows when your birthday is. It's her 4th baby. Typically, it would be considered really rude to have a baby shower beyond the first. My kid doesn't know who went to their baby shower or not. Trying to guilt you that your unborn nibbling will hate you is bonkers. My kid doesn't care that my mother's book club bought their pack and play or car seat. While according to some research, children in the womb may react to music or videos of people they regularly hear, there's no scientific reason to believe the little one will remember you not being at their party that was held before they were born. Seriously, she had months to host a shower. Choosing that date is a power move, implying you were selfish. God having other plans than her family and having your parents scold you for it is her guilt-tripping you and showing that your parents would choose her over you. To be honest, your family sounds super manipulative. Your world doesn't revolve around your sister. You have a life of your own. I hope you had a very happy birthday. I, 26 male, am very protective of my siblings. 19 female, teen male, pre-tween male with special needs. Since I had basically raised them even when I was a child myself, and since becoming an adult, have become their guardian. This is due to our mother always being away for mommy time, her way of saying going to the club, drinking, then having intimacy with whatever guy she was clinging to, also in and out of prison. My sister, 19, wanted to try and fix her relationship with our mother, since apparently our mother's getting better and is going through programs. I know this song and dance. She says she's better, and she's really good at acting like it. Someone believes her BS. She gets in their good graces, till she can ask for money to get back on her feet, and then bam, the witch is gone. I warned my sister about all of this, because as much as I love my sister, she's too forgiving and gullible. But I also told her she's an adult now, and I'm not gonna stop her. Just be careful. On the day she was to meet up with her, she was too nervous and anxious to go alone, especially after not seeing her for 7 years, and I could see it. So I offered to go with her for support. A very important detail is that my sister has always been a tomboy, but repressed that side when we still lived with our mother, since she was very abusive about it and was a huge bully. Since living with me, she's gone full tomboy and is very much masculine presenting. I'm so happy she's comfortable with me and that she can be who she wants. But a lot of people do think she's trans, so that's a sore spot for her, since she still identifies as a woman. Well, the second we got into the restaurant and sat down, our mother's first words were, "Oh my God, you're not one of those transgender people, are you?" with a disgusted look on her face. My sister ran out crying. I told my mother she was a soulless witch who didn't deserve her children's love and would die unloved and alone. She called me an idiot and other names while I left. I feel like an idiot because I stooped to her level, but some part of me still thinks she deserved those words. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your mom is old enough to know better, yet she started a moment with her estranged kids with hate and criticism. She's a broken individual. Nothing you or your sister can do will save her from herself, so it's better to protect yourself. I too have a soulless parent and a younger sibling who's more apt to forgive. Support your sibling, but keep your own boundaries. Your sis will need to come to their own conclusions based on their own painful experiences. Very heartbreaking, and hopefully your sister now sees the woman for what she truly is. I was this sibling for a very long time. Eventually I had enough, and I've been no contact with my dad for almost 2 years. I feel so bad for your sister because I know exactly how it is to have such a person in your life who you keep thinking will change. They're so good at making you believe them, and it hurts every time they eventually let you down. I wouldn't be surprised if one day your sister cuts all contact with her mom completely of her own accord. Until that day, please be patient with her. Seriously, what a first impression after 7 years. This woman has destroyed everything for you and your siblings, and you had to act like an adult years before you were supposed to. Good on you for being an amazing older brother, and hopefully your sister won't be too hurt by this inevitable situation. My 29 female family consists of me, my mom, my stepdad, and his 4 sons. Everyone has partners. This story concerns the oldest son, George, 32 male, and his partner, Francesca, 30 male. I host most of the family gatherings in our family because my house is big enough to accommodate everyone staying over. Now, I don't particularly enjoy hosting. The cost is astronomical. It takes a long time to plan, and it's quite stressful. However, I have no problem doing it, and I know that everyone enjoys it, and I prefer being at home. There are upsides, but my point is hosting is not something I jump at the chance to do. This year, however, Francesca asked if they could host Christmas. Nobody was keen on this, as their house is very small. No one would be able to stay over, so a good chunk of the day would be spent driving, so there would be no drinking for some. Also, the kitchen is tiny, so cooking for so many people wouldn't be simple, and they don't have a table large enough to accommodate us all. Despite all this, on the spot, no one could think of a polite way to say no, so we all went along with it. A few days ago, Francesca sent around a group text asking if everyone would be all right bringing something to Christmas, a food dish of some sort, as their oven wasn't large enough to cook everything from scratch, and if we all brought something to warm up, that would be easier. Later on in our family group chat, parents and siblings only, my other step-sibling said it would have been better if I had hosted Christmas. Even George agreed and said Francesca was totally stressed out about the planning. At this point, my mom suggested I should take it over, since that would take the stress off of everyone and save them a drive. Everyone jumped on the idea and practically begged me to do it. George said he'd talk to Francesca about it since everyone else agreed, and I said okay. I heard nothing more about it until last night when Francesca sent me this long message, and she was furious. She said I should have refused to host when asked because I knew how important it was to her, which I didn't. She accused me of ruining her chance to be a part of the family finally, and of lobbying to host Christmas so that I could embarrass her, which is not true. I tried to explain to her that I was trying to make everything easier for everyone and that I didn't offer, I was asked. But it was a bit vague because I was trying not to throw everyone else under the bus. Eventually, she just stopped replying. I really thought I was at least saving Francesca and everyone else a bit of stress. But a couple of my friends said I should have let her sink or swim on her own since she was so adamant about hosting. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You were trying to please the crowd. Unfortunately, your brother threw both you and his wife under the bus. You need to talk to your brother to deal with Francesca and set the record straight. Only continue hosting if you want to. Otherwise, yeah, let her sink or swim, and everyone else will have to deal with the consequences of not communicating their concerns with Francesca directly. Disagree. I think everyone's the idiot here except Francesca. Obviously, her house isn't ideal for regular hosting, but she wanted to do it once. She's joining the family and probably wanted to do something nice for everyone. All of your reasons suck. So some people have to be designated drivers, so people don't want to bring one dish. In my experience, people contribute to holiday meals even when the host does have plenty of kitchen space. The thought of being at two different tables is unfathomable, and conspiring behind her back to change the plan sucks. George should have stood up for his wife and made it clear that everyone knows your house is better, but it's important to Francesca to make this gesture for the family. Whilst I agree that the family acted cowardly and the stepbrother should have been open with his wife, I don't think it's fair to say that their reasons suck. Their Christmas tradition is that they all stay together and eat together as a family, which includes drinking for them. Expecting people to change their traditions for an opportunity to host isn't a nice gesture to the family. It's asking for a day in the spotlight. Francesca is the biggest idiot here. She wanted her chance to host despite what inconvenience it meant for everyone else. I'll preface this by saying that my husband Luke, 32, does not get along with my parents. You can't tell who's right or who's wrong. There's always this ongoing tension between them, but they can be civil enough to sit together at one table. I recently got an invitation to a Christmas celebration for my parents. The invitation included Luke and me, but Luke thought this was somewhat rude and disrespectful because he believes he should get his invitation and not have his name mentioned as an extension to mine. We talked and he said he wouldn't go unless they sent him a proper invitation. I called my mom and asked if she could do it. She thought it was ridiculous and said that she and Dad did the same with my sister and her husband. I told her it was fine, but Luke can be sensitive like that, so a simple invitation in the form of a text directly to him would fix it. She got defensive and said that Luke was being ridiculous. Dad claimed that Luke was trying to pull some power move to humiliate them, but I thought this was a small issue. They still thought it was ridiculous, so I told them I wouldn't attend if they didn't send him a separate invitation, because he won't attend if he didn't get it. This blew up, and my sister started arguing, saying Luke needed to get over himself, and shamed me for trying to force our parents to send him an invitation by saying I won't come if they didn't. We haven't talked since then, and we're waiting. Edit. The invitation I received wasn't a text, so Luke is saying that a simple text to him will finish the conflict, but my parents still think it's ridiculous and that they won't invite him since they already have. You are the idiot. Holy crap, that's not how invitations work. Couples always get invited together. He wouldn't be invited if he wasn't your husband. Why didn't you shut that crap down immediately? Your husband is a bigger idiot, but you enable him. Has your husband always been trying to isolate you from your family? In the 23 years we've been married, my wife and I have never received two separate invitations to anything. I've never once thought that if I really wanted, I should be sent my own please come. Your husband sounds like he's either too fragile or too arrogant, but your sister's right. He needs to get over himself. It's funny how OP can't tell who's right or who's wrong, but the whole family can. I'm guessing that Luke has been pulling crap like this for years, and OP is numb to it. Sounds like he's unhinged. Why would he pick on something so innocent and cheerful as a Christmas invitation to get all weird about? Why would he get one of his own? Because you're not a couple? Because he's too important to be subsumed in a relationship? He sounds like he's creating drama, and your family's probably worried about you. Luke is the idiot, and you are the idiot for condoning it. When you're married, you don't get separate invitations. Your mom called and said, "I hope you guys can come for Christmas," or "We're looking forward to seeing you at Christmas." That is the royal you, not just you. OP question. If a friend issued the same invitation as your mom, would Luke kick up a fuss or would he go? This isn't about the invitation. Luke doesn't want to go. Your choice is to stay with him or go without him. But your parents don't have to issue Lukey Wubby his own special invitation. And think hard. Is this really the only time he makes a fuss? Or do you tiptoe around a lot of things? Be honest. My 26 female sister moved in with me, 29, and my husband, 32, days ago after her divorce was finalized. Then she lost her job and could no longer pay rent for her apartment. We're mostly in agreement about everything, except I've been kind of having an issue with what she wears, especially at nighttime when she unwinds and tends to relax a bit, as she says. I think that what she wears is inappropriate. She usually wears silky nightwear, nightgowns mostly. She says that it's just her style, and it's what she's been wearing for years. Not just that, but she come out of her room dressed like that to grab water or use the bathroom. Well, yes, it was just me who saw her dressed like that. I honestly could not risk arguing with my husband over it. I suggested she buy some PJs, but she said she doesn't feel comfortable in them. Last night, I saw her in the kitchen grabbing something from the fridge, and she was dressed in a purple strapped knee-length nightgown. I tried to speak to her about it, but it didn't go well. We started arguing, and I ended up telling her to stop leaving her room when she was wearing stuff like that. And she argued that there was nothing wrong with what she was wearing, that it wasn't like she was walking around naked or anything of the sort. I told her it's my home and she's a guest, and should respect my request. But she responded by saying that just because she lives in my house does not mean I have the right to control what she wears, then stormed off to her room. We haven't talked since then, and she's refusing to talk about it. You are the idiot. She's wearing a knee-length nightgown. What next? She can't show her shoulders? A little bit of cleavage? Her ankles? What are you worried about? Does your husband have a history of cheating? Don't take whatever issues you're having with your husband out on your sister. It's not her sister's fault she can't trust her husband. Purple and knee-length isn't slinky lingerie. It's literally just normal evening wear. OP, if you are insecure about your husband, then say it. If you're insecure your sister might seduce your husband, then say it. But to try and control what another woman is wearing is absurd. You are projecting your fears. Disagree. I don't like people wearing shoes in my house. That's a rule about what people are allowed to wear in my home. I recognize that many people worldwide are fine wearing shoes in their home. So it isn't that shoes as a clothing item are wrong. It's that there is a time and a place where it's appropriate. I don't like vacuuming more than I have to, and I don't like dirty floors. I'm allowed to make those decisions for my own home. OP's allowed to ask house guests to wear appropriate clothing. Maybe OP is a prude. Maybe your husband is a serial cheater. Maybe OP and her husband had a traumatic experience with a silky negligee, and the sight of satin sets off their anxiety. OP doesn't have to justify why her sister wearing revealing clothing makes her uncomfortable. House guests should be respectful of their host's wishes, and hosts should be as accommodating as their morals and boundaries allow. The fact that the sister became argumentative makes me think she sees herself as a housemate instead of a guest, and that's a recipe for disaster. You make different concessions for roommates versus guests, and the sister is entirely too comfortable in someone else's home. OP is not the idiot. Agree, exactly this. Children in this story are shouting, "My body, my rights." What a load of BS. She's a freeloader living in OP's home and should respect her and her husband. I'm actually shocked by all the people here. Is this what you people do when you're a guest in someone else's house who's helping you? You just tell them to shut up and deal? Get out of my house, all of you. It doesn't matter why she's asking.